Hello, I'm Christopher Clark, director of Utah Valley State College's production of William Shakespeare's The Tempest. England in 1611, the year The Tempest was likely written, was a country on the verge of global expansion. Reports of new countries, expanses of land, and tropical islands filled the news of the day, with William Strachey's disastrous shipwreck in the Bermudas especially fresh in the minds of the English. This was a time of exploration and discovery, though most English men and women never set foot beyond the white cliffs of Dover. Those who were unable to sail explored these exciting new countries in the local playhouse, where plays and poetry told strange tales of magical storms, islanders who were half fish and half men, and night sounds of howling enchantment and mystery. William Shakespeare knew how to please his audience. He understood the current fad for all things New World, and he gave them magic and poetry in spades. This play, possibly his last, is a culmination of his creativity. It is not only Prospero's art that drives the play, but William Shakespeare's. A writer at the end of his career balances intimate, beautiful poetry and characterization with all of the spectacle and magic that would amuse a Jacobean audience, not to mention King James himself, a true mystic and a supernatural enthusiast. Our production incorporates many of the elements of a Jacobean masque, and much of what you see here is derived from the performance style and technical direction of the early 1600s. Yes, the actors were all male. Yes, they wore masks. Yes, they interrupted the action of the plot for elaborate dances. The result, I hope, is a piece of theater that is challenging, perplexing, intriguing, and entertaining. I'd like to give my thanks to a hardworking and extremely talented team of actors, designers, technicians, and producers here at Utah Valley State College for their vision and their innovation. And now, William Shakespeare's The Tempest.
An awful tempest smashed the air. The clouds were gaunt and few.
A black as of a specter's cloak hid heaven and earth from view.
The creatures chuckled on the roofs and whistled in the air,
shook their fists and gnashed their teeth and swung their frenzied hair.
The morning lit, the birds arose. The monster's faded eyes turned slowly to its native coast.
And peace was paradise.
Yes, Captain! Go down! Below decks! The captain's decks are all afire! Back on your feet, men!
Back to work, men! Raise your belly, scallywags! Push! Raise the anchor! Heave, men! Push if your motherfuckers depended on us! Push! Push! Heave! Over again!
Mast is swaying! The sails are torn! I've never seen a storm such as this. I will not. Nay, good be patient. When the sea is hence, what cares these royals for the name? Oh, fight not, good brethren! Good, yet remember.
By your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar. Allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welkin's cheek, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished.
No more amazement.
Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done.
Oh, the day!
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor sail, and thy no greater father.
More to know to never meddle with my thoughts.
'Tis time I should inform thee farther. Wipe thou thine eyes, have comfort.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hours now come. Obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto the cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 3 years old.
Certainly, sir, I can, and 'tis far off, and rather like a dream than assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hast, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark backward and abysm of time? If thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayest.
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda, 12 years since, thy father was the Duke of Milan, and thou his only heir, a princess no worse issued.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence? Or blessed was it we did?
Both, my girl. By foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence, but blessedly helped hither. My brother and thy uncle, called Antonio, I pray thee mark me, that a brother should be so perfidious. He whom next thyself of all the world I loved, I to him put the manage of my state. Therein the government I cast upon my brother. I, thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind, in my false brother awaked an evil nature. Dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable.
Oh, the heavens!
Mark his condition and the event. Then tell me if this might be a brother. The King of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens to my brother's suit, and presently banishes me and mine out of the dukedom, and confers fair Milan with all the honors on my brother. Whereon, one midnight, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness hurried thence me and thy crying self.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Dear, they durst not, so dear the love my people bore me. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a boat, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats instinctively had quit it. There they hoist us to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the winds, whose pity, sighing back again, did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubim thou wast that did preserve me. Thou didst smile, infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I have decked the sea with drops full salt, under my burthen groaned, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
Ah, by providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzalo, out of his charity, being then appointed master of this design, did give us with rich garments, linens, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steaded much. So, of his gentleness, knowing I loved my books, he furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that man.
Here in this island we arrived, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind, Your reason for raising this sea storm?
Know thus far forth, by accident most strange, bountiful fortune, now, my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore. Here cease more questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way, I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant, come! I am ready now. Approach, my Ariel, come!
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly,
To swim,
to dive into the fire,
to ride on the curled clouds,
to thy strong bidding, task aerial and all his quality.
Hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article, I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak,
now in the waist,
the deck,
in every cabin.
I flamed amazement. Sometimes I divide and burn in many places.
on the topmast,
The yards,
and bowsprit,
would I flame distinctly,
then me and
joy.
Ah, my brave spirit!
Not a soul, but felt a fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation.
all but mariners plunged in the foaming brine and quit the vessel.
Then all afire with me,
The king's son, Ferdinand,
with hair upstaring,
then like reeds,
no tear,
was the first man that leaped.
cried,
Hell is empty, and all the devils are here.
Why, that's my spirit. But was this not nigh shore?
Close by, my master.
But are they, Ariel, safe?
Not a hair perished. In troops I have dispersed them about the isle.
The king's son ever landed by himself.
His arms in his sad knot.
Say how thou wast disposed of all the rest of the fleet.
Safely in the harbor is the king's ship.
In the deep nook,
There she's hid.
the mariners all under hatches stowed.
Who with the charm joined to the suffered labor, I have left asleep.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed. But there's more work.
Is there more toil?
Since thou dost give me pains,
Let me remember thee what thou hast promised.
which is not yet
How
performed.
now? Moody, what is't thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I pray thee, remember I have done thee worthy service.
Told thee no lies.
Made thee no mistaking.
Served without grudge or grumbling.
Thou didst promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No,
Thou dost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax? She did confine thee into a cloven pine, and left thee there. It was mine art, when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou murmurest, I will rend an oak and peg thee in his naughty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 witches.
Pardon, master,
I will be correspondent to command.
and do my spiriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do?
Say what?
What shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go, take this shape, and hither come in it. Go, hence with diligence. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well, awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on, we'll visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us kind
It is a
answer.
villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fire, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho, slave! Caliban, thou art thou speak!
There's wood enough within!
Come forth, I say, there's other business for thee. Come, thou poisonous slave got by the devil himself, come forth!
As wicked do as e'er my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you both! A southwest blow on ye, and blister ye all o'er!
For this be sure tonight, thou shalt have cramps, side stitches that shall bend thy breath up, urchins shall, for the vast of night, that they may work all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched, as thick as honeycomb, each pinch more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner!
This silence mine, by Sycorax my mother, which thou takest from me.
When thou camest first, thou strokest me, and madest much of me. Wouldst give me water with berries in it, and teach me how to name the bigger light, and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle, the fresh springs, brine pits, barren place and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, that light on you. Find all the subjects that you have, and here you stine me in this hard rock, whilst you do keep from me the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in mine own cell, till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Would it had been done! Thou didst prevent me. I had peopled else this isle with Caliban!
A poor slave! I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other. When thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish.
You taught me language, and my profit on it is I know how to curse. The Red Plague rid you for learning me your language. Hack seed hence!
Fetch us in fuel and be quick. Shruggest thou, malice? If thou neglectest, or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar, that beast shall tremble at thy din.
No, pray thee, I must obey. His art is of such power.
So slave hence!
Come unto these yellow sands, and then take hands. Curtsied when you haven't kissed, the wild waves whizzed. Footed featly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear. Hark, hark.
Where should this music be? In the air or the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the island. sitting on a bank, weeping again, the king, my father's wreck. This music crept by me upon my waters, allying both their fury and my passion with its sweet air. Thence I have followed it, or hath it drawn me, rather? Ah, but it is gone. No, it begins again.
Full fathom 5 thy father lies, of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes, nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange.
This deed is remember my drowned father. This is no mortal business, nor no sound that the earth owes. I hear it now above me.
The fringed curtains of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest yon.
What is it? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but 'tis a spirit.
No, wench. It eats and sleeps, and hath such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck. Thou mightest call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this.
Oh, most sure the goddess on whom these airs attend, vouchsafe my prayer may know if you remain upon this island. Oh, you wonder. Are you maid or no?
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language, heavens!
At the first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the 3rd man that ever I saw, the first that ever I sighed for. Pity moved my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin, and your affection not gone forth, I'll make you the queen of Naples.
Soft, sir! I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou hast put thyself upon this island as a spy, to win it from me, the Lord on it.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill that could dwell in such a temple.
Follow me. Speak not you for him. He's a traitor. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots, and husks wherein the acorn cradled. Follow.
No! I will resist such entertainment till mine enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he is gentle and not fearful.
What? I say, put up thy sword, traitor, who makest a show, but darest not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt.
Beseech you, father.
Hence, hang not on my guard.
Sir, have pity, I'll be assured.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee. What? An advocate for an impostor? Hush! Thou thinkest there is no more such shapes as he, having seen but him in Caliban. Foolish wench! To the most of men, this is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections are then most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again, and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits as in a dream are all bound up. My father's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats to whom I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I but through my prison, once a day behold this maid.
It works. Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Hark what thou else shalt do me.
Be of comfort. My father's of a better nature, sir, than he appears by speech. This is unwanted, which now came from him.
Thou shalt be free as mountain winds, but then exactly to all points of my command.
To the syllable.
Come, follow. Speak not for him.
beseech you, sir, be merry. You have cause, so have we all, of joy. For our escape is much beyond our loss. I mean, our preservation. Few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, good sir, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
He receives comfort like cold porridge.
Therefore, my lord, though this island seem to be desert, uninhabitable and almost inaccessible, the air breathes upon us here most sweetly.
As if it had lungs and rotten ones.
Or as 'twere perfumed by a fen.
Here is everything advantageous to life.
True, save means to live.
Of that there's none or little.
But the rarity of it is, which is indeed almost beyond credit, that our garments, being as they were drenched in the sea, hold notwithstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new-dyed than stained with salt water. Is not, sir, my doublet as fresh as the first day I wore it? I mean, in a sort, when I wore it at your daughter's marriage?
You cram these words into mine ears against the stomach of my sense. Would I had never married my daughter there! For coming thence, my son is drowned, and in my rage she too, who was so far from Italy, removed, I never again shall see her. Oh, thou mine heir of Naples and of Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Sir, he may live. I saw your son beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water, whose enmity he flung aside, and breasted the surge most swoln that met him. His bold head 'bove the contentious waves he kept, and oared himself with his good arms in lusty stroke to the shore. I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, he's gone.
Sir, you may thank yourself for this great loss. That would not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African.
Prithee, peace.
You are nil to and importuned otherwise by all of us. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business-making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own.
So is the dearest of the lost.
My lord Sebastian, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness and time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
It is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather.
Very foul.
Had I plantation of this isle, my lord, and were the king on it, what would I do? I would with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
God save his majesty.
Long live Gonzalo!
And do you mark me, sir?
Prithee, no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe, your highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are of such sensible and nimble lungs that they are always used to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
Who in this kind of merry fooling am nothing to you, so you may continue, and laugh at nothing still.
Nay, good my lord, be not angry.
No, I warrant you, I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Will you laugh me asleep? For I am very heavy.
Go, sleep, and hear us.
What? So soon asleep? I wish mine eyes would with them so shut up my thoughts. I find they are inclined to do so.
Oh, please you, sir, do not admit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow. When it doth, it is a comforter.
We too, my lord, will guard your person while you take rest, and watch your safety.
Thank you. Wondrous.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It is the quality of the climate.
Why doth it not then our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together both as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might! No more. And yet, Methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldest be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What, art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely it is a sleepy language, and thou speakest out of thy sleep. This is a strange repose to be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Die rather while thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly. There's meaning in thy snores.
I am more serious than my custom. You must be so too if heed me, which to do trebles the oar.
Well, I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Do so.
Thus, sir, although this lord of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when he is earthed, hath here almost persuaded the king his son's alive, 'tis as impossible that he's undrowned, and he that sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he's drowned.
Will you grant me then that Ferdinand, his son, is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who is the next heir of Naples?
Claribel, his daughter.
She that is queen of Tunis? She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life? She that from Naples can have no note?
What stuff is this? How say you? 'Tis true my brother's daughter's queen of Tunis, so is she heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall that Claribel measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis, and let Sebastian awake. Say this were death that hath now seized them. Why, they're no worse than now they are. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleep were this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your content tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much feeder than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir, where lies that? I feel not this deity in my bosom. But here lies your brother, no better than the earth he lies upon. If he were that which now he's like, that's dead, whom I with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my president. As thou gottest Milan, I'll come by Naples. Draw thy sword. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
I draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like to fall it on Gonzalo. My master, through his art, foresees the danger that you, his friend, are in.
And sends me forth
For else his project dies.
to keep them living.
While you here do snoring lie, open-eyed conspiracy, his time doth take if of life you keep a care. Shake off slumber and beware.
Awake! Awake! Now, good angels! Preserve the king!
Awake! Why are you drawn? Wherefore this ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Sebastian.
While we stood here securing repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like wolves, or rather lions.
Lions,
Did not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, it was din to frighten the monsters yet, to make an earthquake. Sure, it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon mine honor, sir, I heard a humming, and that a strange one too, which did awake me. I shaked you, sir, and cried. As mine eyes opened, I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or that we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead off this ground and let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he is sure hid the island.
Lead away.
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, king, go safely on to seek thy son.
Oh, the infections that the sun sucks up from bogs, fens, flats, on Prospero fall, and make him by Ishmael a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But they'll nor pinch, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bid 'em. But for every trifle are they set upon me. Sometime like apes that mow and chatter at me and out to bite me. Then like hedgehogs, which lie tumbling in my barefoot way and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometime am I all wound with adders, who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Lo, now lo, here comes a spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing wood in slowly. I'll fall flat, perchance he will not mind me.
Here's neither bush nor shrub that bear off any weather at all, and another storm brewing. I hear it singing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one, looks like a foul bombard that would shed his liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? A fish. He smells like a fish, a strange fish. Legs like a man, and his fins like arms. Warm on my troth, I do not let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will hear shrouds of the dregs of the storm be past.
I shall no more to say, here shall I die ashore. This is a very scurvy tune to sing at a man's funeral. Well, here's my comfort. The master, the swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mate, loved them all, Meg and Marian and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate. For she had a tongue with a tang, would cry to a sailor, "Go hang!" She loved not the savour of tar nor of pitch, yet a tailor might scratch her where'er she did it. Then to sea, boys, and let her go hang. This is a scurvy tune too, but here's my comfort. Do not torment me. Oh! What's the matter? Have we devils here? The spirit torments me. Oh! This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs, who hath got, as I take it, an ague. Where the devil should he learn our language? I will give him some relief, if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor. Do not torment me, prithee. I'll bring my wood home faster. Oh, he's in his fit now, and has not talked after the wisest. He shall taste of my bottle.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Thou wilt anon. I know it by thy trembling. Now prosper works upon thee.
Come on your ways. Open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you, cat. Open your mouth. This will shake. You're shaking.
Oh, I should know that voice. It should be, but he's drowned, and these are devils. Oh, defend me!
4 legs and 2 voices. A most delicate monster. His forward voice now is to speak well of his friend. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the wine in my bottle will recover him, I will help his ague. Come, amen. I will pour some in thy other mouth.
Oh, Stefano!
Huh? But doth thy other mouth call me? Mercy, mercy, this is a devil and no monster. I will leave him.
Stefano!
Huh?
If thou beest Stefano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard. Thy good friend Trinculo.
If thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I'll pull thee by the lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Whoa! Thou art fellow Trinculo indeed!
But art thou not drowned, Stefano? I hope now thou art not drowned. Ooh, is the storm overblown? I hid me under the dead moon calf's gabardine for fear of the storm. And art thou living, Stefano? Oh, Stefano, to the escaped!
Do not turn me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things, and if they be not sprites, that's a brave god, and bears celestial liquor. I will kneel to him.
How didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon a butt of sack which the sailors heaved overboard.
I swam ashore, man, like a duck. Quack, quack. I can swim like a duck, I'll be sworn. Quack, quack, quack. How now, moon calf? How does thine ache you? Quack, quack, quack.
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Out of the moon, I do assure thee. I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee, and thy dog, and thy bush.
By this good light, this is a very shallow monster. I'm afeard of him. A very weak monster. The man in the moon. The most poor, credulous monster.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of the island, and I will kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my god.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When his god's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
Oh, well, come on then. Down and swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this scurvy monster. I could find in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
But that the poor monster's a drink, an abominable monster.
I'll show thee the best springs. I'll pluck thee berries. I'll fish for thee, and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more sticks, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
A most ridiculous monster to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I prithee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, and I, with my long nails, will dig thee pig nuts, show thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometimes I'll get thee young scammels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee, now, lead the way, without any more talking. Trinculo, the king and all our company else being drowned, we will inherit here. Here, bear my bottle. Fellow Trinculo will fill him by and by again.
Farewell, master! Farewell! Farewell!
A howling monster! A drunken monster!
No more days I'll make for fish, nor fetching firing at requiring, nor scrape trencher, nor wash dish. Bad, Kakala, bad. As a new master, get a new man. Heyday, freedom.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way.
There be some sports are painful, and their labor delight in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious. But the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. She is 10 times more gentler than her father's crabs, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some 1,000 of these logs and pile them up upon a sore injunction. My mistress weeps when she sees me work and says, such baseness had never like executor. I forget, but these sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors. Most busy lest when I do it.
Alas! Now pray, you work not so hard. I would the lightning had burned up those logs that you were enjoined to pile. Pray, set it down and rest you. My father is hard at study. Pray now, rest yourself. He's safe for these 3 hours.
Most dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature. I'd rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease, for my good will is to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress. 'Tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I have broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady have I eyed with the best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. But you, you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember save from my glass mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad I am skilless of, but by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you. Nor can imagination form a shape beside yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly, and my father's precepts I therein do forget.
I am, in my condition, a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. Yet the very instant that I saw you did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it. And for your sake, am I this patient logman?
Do you love me?
Oh, heaven, oh, earth, bear witness to the sound, and crown what I profess with kind revenge. If I speak true, I, beyond all limit of what else in the world do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heavens, rain grace on that which breeds between them.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness that dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling. I am your wife if you will marry me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow, you may deny me, but I'll be your servant whether you will or not.
My mistress dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage, heir of freedom. Here is my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now farewell to half an hour hence.
1,000.
So glad of this as they I cannot be, who are surprised with all. But my rejoicing at nothing can be more. I'll to my book, for yet ere supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
When the vat is out, we will drink water, not a drop before. Therefore, bear up and boredom! Drink, servant monster, drink to me!
Servant monster, the folly of this island.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee. Thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Where should they be set else? He were a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
My man monster hath drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam, ere I could recover the shore, 35 leagues off and on. By this light, thou shalt be my lieutenant, monster, or my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you list. He's no standard.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life, if thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe.
I'll not serve him. He's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I am in case to a just constable. Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
No! How he mocks me! Wilt thou let him, my lord?
Lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such a natural.
Lo, again! Fight him to death, I pray thee! Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer, the next tree. The poor monster's my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Marry, will I kneel and I will stand, and so shall Trinculo. Huh?
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer,
That by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest!
Huh?
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey!
Thou! I would my valiant master would destroy thee! I do not lie. Trinculo, if you trouble him any more on his tail, by this hand I will supplant some of your teeth.
Why, I said nothing.
Mum then, no more. Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got this isle. From me he got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, but this thing dare not.
That's most certain.
Thou shalt be lord of it, and I'll serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, yea, my lord, I'll yield him thee asleep, where thou mayest knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest! Thou canst not!
What a pining is this?
Thou scurvy patch! I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows and take his bottle from him.
When that's gone, he shall drink
Not but brine, for I'll not jump where the quick freshes are. Trinculo! Run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand I'll turn my mercy out of doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why, what did I did nothing. I'll go farther off.
Didst thou not say he lied?
Thou liest!
Do I so, huh? Take thou that, huh? And that the scurvy patch indeed, huh? As if you like this, give me the lie another time,
I did not give the lie. Out of your wits and bearing too. A murrain on your monster and the devil take your fingers.
Now forward with your tale. Prithee, stand farther off.
Beat him enough? After a little time, I'll beat him too.
Stand farther. Come, proceed.
Why, as I told thee, 'tis a custom with Prospero in the afternoon to sleep. There thou mayest brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log, batter his skull, or punch him with a stake, or cut his weasand with thy knife. Remember, first to possess his books, for without them he's but a sot, as I am, nor hath not one spirit to command. They all do hate him as rootedly as I. Burn but his books, and that most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter.
Is it so brave, alas?
Aye, Lord, she will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth brave brood.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I will be king and queen, save our graces, and Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
give me thy hand. I am sorry I beat thee. But while thou livest, keep a good tongue in thy head.
Within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on mine honor.
This will I tell my master.
Thou makest me merry. I am full of pleasure.
Well, come on, Trinculo, let us sing!
Flout 'em and scout 'em and scout 'em and flout 'em. Lord is free.
That's not the tune.
What is the same?
This is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest a devil, take it as thou wilt.
Oh, forgive me my
He
sin.
that dies pays all debts, I defy thee! Mercy upon us!
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be not afeard. The isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometime voices that, if I then had waked after long sleep, will make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds methought would open and show riches ready to drop upon me, that when I waked, I cried to dream again.
This will prove a brave kingdom to me, where I shall have my music for nothing!
When Prospero is destroyed!
That shall be by and by. I remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it and after do our work.
Lead, monster. We'll follow.
Wilt come? I'll follow Stefano.
By a laken, I can go no further, sir. My old bones ache. By your patience, I needs must rest me.
O Lord, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the doling of my spirits. Sit down and rest. Even here I will put off my hope. He is drowned whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Well, let him go.
Sebastian, I am right glad that he's so out of hope. Do not for one repulse forego the purpose that you resolved to effect.
The next advantage will we take thoroughly.
Let it be tonight. For now they are oppressed with travel. They will not, nor cannot, use such vigilance as when they are fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this? My good friends, hark!
Marvelous, sweet music. Oh!
What?
Give us kind keepers, heavens! What are these?
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me? If I should say I saw such islanders? For certain these are people of the island, who, though they're of monstrous shape, yet note their manners are more gentle than of our human generation you shall find many.
almost any.
I cannot too much muse such shapes, such gesture, and such sound, expressing, although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
They vanished, strangely.
No matter, since they left their viands behind, for we have stomachs who will please you taste of what is here.
Most certainly will. Yes.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers.
You are three that whom destiny that never surfeited sea hath caused to belch up, and on this island where men doth not inhabit, you amongst men being most unfit to live, I have made you mad, and even with such like valor men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools! I and my fellows are ministers of fate. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with bemucked at stabs kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dow that's in my plume. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massive for your strength, and will not be uplifted. But remember that you three from Milan did supplant good Prospero, expose unto the sea which hath requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all the creatures against your peace. Thee of thy son Alonso they have bereft, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition worse than any death can be at once, shall step by step attend you and your way.
In the name of something holy, sir, why stand you in this strange stare?
Oh, it is monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The winds did sing it to me, and that thunder, the deep and dreadful organ pipe, pronounced the name of Prospero. It did base my trespass. Therefore my son in the ooze is bedded, and I'll seek him deeper than e'er plummet sounded, and with him there lie mudded.
But 1 feet at a time, I'll fight your legions over.
I'll be thy second.
Oh, all three of them are desperate. Their great guilt, like poison given to work a great time after, now begins to bite the spirits. Oh.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends. For I have given you here that for which I live, who once again I tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. Here afore heaven I ratify this my rich gift.
I do believe it.
Then as my gift and thine own acquisition worthily purchased, take my daughter. But if thou dost break her virgin not before all sanctimonious ceremonies may with full and holy right
The
be
murkiest
ministered.
den, the most opportune place. The strongest suggestion shall never melt mine honor into lust.
Ah, fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own. What? Ariel, my industrious servant Ariel.
What would my potent master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, or whom I give thee power, here to this place. incite them to quick motion. For I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Presently,
Aye, with a twink.
before you can say,
Come and go, and breathe twice and cry,
so, each one
tripping on his toe.
will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No.
Oh, dearly, my delicate Ariel. Do not approach till thou dost hear me call.
Well, I can see.
Honor, riches, marriage blessing, long continuance, and increasing hourly joys be still upon you. Prospero showers blessings upon you. No tongue, all eyes, be silent. I had forgot that foul conspiracy of the beast Caliban and his confederates against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come.
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that works him strongly.
Never till this day saw I him touched with anger so distempered.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. These, our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And, like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve, and, like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. My brain is troubled. If you be pleased, retire into my cell, and there repose. A turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
We wish your peace.
Come with a thought, I think the Ariel come.
Thy thoughts I cleave to. What's thy pleasure?
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban.
Aye, my commander.
Say again, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir.
They were red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which like unbacked colts they pricked their ears, advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt the music. So I charmed their ears, that calf-like they my lowing followed through, toothed briars, sharp furzers, pricking goss and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last I left them in a filthy mantled pool beyond your cell, there dancing up to the chins, that the foul lake overstubbed their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible retain thou still. The trumpery in my house, go bring it hither for stale to catch these thieves.
I go.
Caliban's a devil, a born devil, on whose nurture can never stick, on whom my pains, humanely taken, all lost, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, so his mind cankers. Come, hang them on this line. Pray you, tread softly, that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. We now are near Prospero's cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is a harmless fairy, has done little better than played the jack with us.
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, at which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine. Do you hear, monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, look, you.
Good my lord, give me thy favor still. Be patient, for the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore, speak softly, all's hushed as midnight yet.
I but lose our bottles in the pool.
There is not only disgrace and dishonor in that, monster, but an infinite loss.
Prithee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of the cell. No noise, and enter. to that good mischief which may make this island thine own forever. And I, thy Caliban, for I, thy footlicker.
Give me thy hand. I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, King Stephano! Oh, Peer! Oh, worthy Stephano, look what a wardrobe is here for thee!
Let it alone, thou fool! It is but trash!
Oh, King Stephano!
Put off that gown, Trinculo, by this hand. I'll have that gown.
Thy grace shall have it.
The dropsy drown this fool! What do you mean to dote on such luggage? Let's alone, and do the murder first. If he awake, from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches, make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster. Is not this my jerkin?
Monster, come, put some lime on your fingers, and away with the rest.
I will have none on it.
We shall lose our time, and all be turned to barnacles or to apes.
Monster, lay to your fingers. Help to bear this.
Oh, in this?
I am there.
Let them be hunted soundly. At this hour lie at my mercy all mine enemies. Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so when first I raised the Tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
Confined together, in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them, all prisoners, sir. They cannot budge till your release. The king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly him that you term, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo. His tears run down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works them that, if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I a human.
And mine shall. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him when he comes back, you demi-puppets that by moonshine to the green summer ringlets make whereof the you not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azure vault set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong base promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oaked and let them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure. And when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. There stand, for you are all spell stopped. Holy Gonzalo, honorable man, mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves apace. Oh, good Gonzalo, my true preserver, and a loyal sir to him you followest. I will pay thy graces home both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pitched for now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood, you, brother mine, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who, with Sebastian, whose inward pinches thereof are most strong, would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me, Ariel. I'll fetch my clothing in my cell. I will discase me and myself, present as I was sometime along. Thou shalt ere long be free.
Where the bee sucks, there suck I.
Where
In
the
the
bee
couch
sucks,
sucks,
there
there I
suck
lie.
I.
In the couch when I lie. On the bat's back I do fly.
On the
After summer
bat's back I do
merrily.
fly.
After
After
merrily
summer
shall I live
merrily.
now.
Merrily, merrily
that
shall I
hangs in
live
the
now.
bough.
Under the blossom that hangs on the bough. On the bat's back I do fly. After summer
shall I live
merrily.
now.
Merrily, merrily shall I live now. Under the blossom that hangs on the bough.
Why, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee. But yet thou shalt have freedom. So. To the king's ship, invisible as thou art, there shalt thou find the mariners asleep under the hatches. The boatswain being awake, enforce him here to this place, and presently, I prithee.
I drink the air before me, and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
Oh, torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Some heavenly power guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan Prospero. For more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee, I embrace thy body, and to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome, whether thou beest he or no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood. But how should Prospero be living and be here? First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be measured or confined.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I here could pluck his highness' frown upon you and justify you traitors. At this time I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No. For you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth, I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore. If thou beest Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, who 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore where I have lost my dear son Ferdinand. Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure. I have lost my daughter, a daughter. Oh, heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there that they were. I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter? In this last tempest. But know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very duke which was thrust forth of Milan, who most strangely upon this shore where you erect was landed to be the lord on it. No more yet of this, for 'tis a chronicle of day by day. Welcome, sir. This sails my court. Here have I few attendants, and subjects none abroad. Pray you, look in.
Sweet lord, you play me false.
No, my dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose.
Oh, the seas threaten. They are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Well, say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
'Tis new to thee. What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Is she the goddess that hath severed us and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence she's mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to the famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renowned but never saw before, of whom I have received a second life, and a second father. This lady makes him to me.
Look down, you gods, and on this couple drop a blessed crown, for it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo. Give me your hand. Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so, amen! Look, sir, here is more of us. I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. What is the news?
The best news is that we've safely found our king and company. The next our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight in yar and bravely rigs when we first put out to sea.
Sir, all this service have I done since I went.
My tricksy spirit, these are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how came you hither?
If I did think, sir, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell you. We were dead of sleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches, where, but even now, with strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible, were we awaked. Straight away at liberty, where we, in all her trim, freshly beheld our royal, good and gallant ship.
Most well done.
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free. Set Caliban and his companions free, untie the spell. How fares my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not.
What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy 'em?
You very like one of them is a plain fish.
Mark but the badges of these men, my lords, then say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch. These 3 have robbed me, and this demi-devil hath plotted with them to take my life. I shall be pinched to death. Is not this Stefano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk now. Where had he wine?
And Trinculo is reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded 'em? How camest thou in this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me it will never out of my bones. Why, how now, Stefano?
Oh, touch me not. I am not Stefano, but a cramp.
You'll be king of the isle, sirrah?
Oh, I should have been a sore one then.
Go, sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. What a thrice double ass was I, to take this drunkard for a god, and worship this dolt fool. Go to, away! Hence, and bestow your luggage where you found it.
Or stole it, rather.
Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night. And in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples. I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely. I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. My Ariel, chick, that is thy charge. Then to the elements be free. And fare thou well. Please you, draw near.
Now my charms are all o'erthrown.
Now my charms are all o'erthrown.
And what strength I have's mine own.
What strength I have's mine own. Which is most faint. Now 'tis true. I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got and pardoned the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. As you from crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.